Right, take two. And I'm bottom of the screen, which I'm not used to. Let's flip that over. Right, okay. So, folks, welcome to the Audible. My name is Matteo. I did this the first time with a lot more energy, and then we realised we weren't live. Would you, Adam and Eve? It's lock in your fantasy football teams, folks. It is Thursday. We've got a great week 6 to talk about. I'm wearing my Mighty Ducks jersey because the Denver Broncos were that bad on Sunday. Let's not talk about it till later. We've got our guest, Kieran, today. Kieran, how are you doing, mate? You've already said this before, but...
Yeah, I'm very good. Chiefs are back to winning ways, so I'm happy.
Oh, I can't swear. This is PG. We try and keep this PG due to some feedback I had that I swear too much. I know me, not swearing. Would you rather believe it?
Swearing, never.
That's it. I know me. Right. We're going to start this off. I want to know how the weekend's been. So we're going to start off with Lee. Tell us about your attire. Tell us how you acquired this attire. We are live, by the way. Officially, I've just double checked on the social media. Yes.
You're making me do this twice.
Yes, mate. I am so good. It's that good.
Twice.
Yes.
I've already explained this once why I'm wearing this attire, but I'll explain again. I'm a man of my word. And I said to the viewers last week, I said that if the Philadelphia Eagles were to get beaten by the New York Giants, I would get in my car and I would drive all the way down to Coach Russ's house, pick up his jersey and his hat, and I would wear it.
And you're doing it. I'll be honest, mate. I'm avoiding a Raiders fan for the week before the Broncos play the Raiders for the same reason. So that week, yes, it's not happening. Kieran, what have you been up to? What's been going on in the world of yourself and Lee Miners? We want to know what's going on with them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, personally, very busy at the minute. I mean, work-wise, but Lee as well. It's all hands on deck. Lee blue suits you better than green. Yeah, we've just had our first sort of open day, really, the tasting sessions, which was a great turnout. I think we had about 25 people, something like that, which I think at this point, when there's a lot of people having the break and being on holiday and so on, it's good numbers. I think we've got about 12 new players that we've sort of signed up recently that haven't played before. We've got returning players. So I think with everything we've got planned for the next few months up to pre-season, it's looking pretty tasty.
Yeah, it didn't go. I have to give you guys due because it didn't go to plan last season, but you stuck through it. I think we can all agree that the Panthers, a fantastic team, were far too good to be in that div. I won't go too much into it, but the fact that you guys managed to get through that season, to stick through it, it shows character. Build on that. I'm sure you'll be back to to winning ways. I assume that's obviously what you want next season.
Yeah.
I imagine. I don't know how the league's going to be set up. I imagine it'll be Lee Miners, Lancashire Buccaneers, Rossendale Bucks, maybe Lincolnshire Bombers. I don't really know, but it's a good league. It's always a good game against Lee Miners. I've played against Lee a few times. How can players, if they want to join your team or transfer, how can they do that?
So I mean, if people message, I think a lot of people are going through our Instagram channel, messaging that way as well, and on the website. The guys get back to you pretty quickly on there and share all the details. It's a bit of a transition phase for us because obviously we know, like you mentioned, historically what we've had going on as a club, we've not had the best rep for things out of our control. And I think what we're doing at the minute, we've got like new branding coming underway. And probably all I can say is new kit coming. We've got financial sponsors for the first time in the club's history. We have money actually landing in the bank. So we're in a really good place as a club. So I think at the minute, socials are the best way in the website. But as we progress the next few months, there's going to be a lot more things and a lot more noise. So it'll be pretty obvious, I think.
You sound like someone that works in media.
Maybe.
Right, Steve, what have you been up to, mate? You sent me a very drunk message at 5 o'clock this morning. I'm in bed for 10 o'clock, so me answering at 5 o'clock is an absolute no-go. What have you been up to? Tell us what's been going on in the world of Steve.
I've had another week of celebrating different birthdays. I feel like the beginning of October is birthday time right now.
Okay.
Yeah, went to an arcade yesterday, played some games, and then ended up going out for a night.
Isn't adult life great? Okay, right. So, hang on, we've got enough. I don't know if you've paid a few people for some comments here. We've got QB4 in house. Gringo, Kieran, we love you. Okay, didn't say he loved me, so I'm just going to ignore him on that, or Bo Nix. But right, I think we're better doing what we do best. Let's get to it. Let's talk some football. So, week 6. I'm not going to start this with a big story and a poem like Lee did last week. Week 6, some results just happened. We expected them to happen. Like this first result. The New York Giants 34 against the Eagles 17. 34-17. Would you, Adam and Eve it? 66% of the public backed the Giants. And the Giants, were the Eagles going to be slayers? No, they weren't. The Giants did the job. 66% of the public did back the Giants. So, Steve, have you got any stats on this one? I want plenty of info on this one. For me, I just want to point out one thing. I was watching some bits and bobs before. Eagles are ranked in the bottom half in terms of offense, in terms of performance. That's poor. Why is this happening? And Lee, we're going to come to you last on this one, so you can have your tangent rants with your Giant shirt on. Steve, you're up first.
Don't really have much stats for this game. I was surprised. I didn't think the Eagles were going to win, but I think Scatterboo and Dart together just look good. But
that guy's crazy.
What I do want to say is, how are they not getting flagged? Because them two are going helmet first constantly.
Yeah, but I agree. By the way, I think it was Steve said that he is absolutely crazy. The Giants running back, and who had him on the bench for the Fantasy Football League. 30 odd points he scored, by the way, which is crazy. I agree, but I'm old, and I'm always watching NFL clips from the past. I like a bit of that. I like a bit of physicality, a bit of giving it. I thought the Giants did well on both defense and offense. Everyone is right. The running back Scatterboo, whatever his name is, he's bonkers crazy. But I kudos to the QB as well. Obviously, Eagles, are they going to pull this out the bag? Are they going on a slump? It's an interesting one. Kieran, we're going to go to you, mate. What did you catch this? Did you watch any of this, mate?
Yeah, I did. I don't think I probably have as much knowledge on it as you guys, but I'm trying to hold my top spot in our fantasy league, so I'm quite glued to it at the moment.
Who's in your fantasy league?
Oh,
and I promise you're not doing as bad as me. I picked every Denver Bronco player. I'm screwed on that bye week.
Oh, who's in my team? Right.
Who's in your league? Is it the Lee Miners guys? Or
yeah,
is it...
so it's a bunch of us from the Lee Miners basically. But okay. I think I probably made some questionable picks in the draft that got me some stick, and I'm absolutely loving it now because I'm top of the division. So
okay, and I have to ask a question because we're all about this. Who's bottom of your fantasy football league?
Okay, let's see.
You are getting named and shamed by Kieran, not by me.
So
I'm bottom of our one.
The funny thing is, and this absolutely, I love the fact I get to do this live, but bottom of our, there's only 10 in this league, and the bottom of it is Jake Edwards, who's actually my brother, who is the DN for Lee Miners as well. And the funny thing is week 7 this week, I'm up against him.
We want to know. We want to know next week. Comment on who wins that one, please. I expect you're going to win, though, if you are top. Okay, Lee. I've got the violin. Unfortunately, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On is trademarked. Go.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's, do you know what? It's all about, Jason Kelsey said it best, hungry dogs run faster. And right now, the New York Giants are hungrier than the Philadelphia Eagles. I do not know what is going on in offense, how A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley are being left out of key sort of plays and stuff.
You can read that comment if you want.
Jeez,
I've never been as excited for this G-Men since Eli Manning retired.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to when Jackson Dart retires. Yeah, I mean, the G-Men were hungrier than the Eagles. That was the bottom line. They wanted it more. They've got this resurgence, just by these two players.
Yeah, we've got a comment here. Sorry, I do apologise for interrupting. Where's the hat? There we go. Round of applause. Fantastic. For anyone who's listening on Spotify, Amazon Prime, and Apple Podcasts, you can find us on there. By the way, I can confirm that Lee is wearing the Giants hat. He is a full-on kit Can't say the rest of it.
Anyway, yeah, Scatterboo and Dart have they've done something to that team, and the guys are getting behind it. You know, that's how it is, isn't it? You know, you got two guys who are just pumping in this morale and this, you know, this can win attitude, and they are winning. They are winning, and I'm excited to see who the Giants are playing this week.
Do you want to just shut up? Listen, I will say this on a comment you've made there. Having prominent leaders in a team is so important. You know, your people who are there every week in, week out. And I'm saying that more towards the Brit Ball community. When I was at the last team I was at on my final year, I made like a WhatsApp group. I encouraged it to be a bit of momentum, a bit of chatting, a bit of banter. And I encouraged the captains to grab the bull by the horns. And I think every team, every good team has them leaders, has them people that people can speak to, people can open to. But the QB, I can't remember his name to save my life, and Scatterboo, wherever the running back. I watched some videos. There's some chemistry there. Absolutely brilliant. I do look forward to seeing what the Giants are doing after this week, not this week. So we're going to move on to the next game, which is most probably the worst game of the weekend. Absolutely not game of the week. The Jets against the Broncos. All three of us back the Broncos because we know our stuff. 92% of the public backed the Broncos, and it was the worst game I've seen in a long time. It was 13-11. You know, I mean, defense-wise, it was great on that part. Broncos got a lot of sacks. Bo Nix just couldn't get firing. I do want to give a special shout out, by the way, to Leicester Panthers. Anyone didn't see the head coach of Denver Broncos, who used to be a part of Leicester Panthers, went down and donated some gear to I think it was the under-17s or the under-19s. What Dean and his team are doing there is absolutely brilliant, and I absolutely love seeing that. I'm absolutely fuming that I didn't know about it. I'd have loved to have like snuck down and just, but no, it was brilliant to see for the Brit Ball community. But going back to the game, it was an awful game. I haven't really got much more to say about it than that. So we're going to start with Lee. Any thoughts on this, mate? Did you watch this? Did you fall asleep? One more thing as well, gents. Did anyone watch the Channel 5 coverage? Because we did, and it's grown on me more and more every week.
Yeah, Channel 5 definitely is where I watch those sort of games. Yeah. It was great. I think the Jets head coach has got the spotlight on him right now. You know, with the state of that first half, where he was allowing that clock to run out just as they were getting momentum, deciding not to put points on the board. It baffled me, and I know Kurt Warner, who was commentating that game, put in a tweet halfway through the game, asking what are the Jets doing? What are they doing? Because it was just, I mean, the commentators can't understand what they're doing, and the general public, and I know the fans were booing at one point. Yeah. It was a crazy, dull game.
I think the mad thing is the highlights of the Jets season. There's that video where he's dancing down the sideline. That's brilliant.
I mean, that bit is just being overcast by that performance right now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Kieran, did you watch this one, mate? I heard you're a Bronco.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Oh God. So if I ring your phone, is Taylor Swift gonna come on?
That's not a bad shout, actually. Do you know what?
Shake It Off is an absolute tune.
It's a banger. I'll be honest, because it's a weird story. Like everyone always says, "Oh, are you a Chiefs fan?" Like when everyone used to always say, "Oh, you're a Patriots fan" because they were winning years ago. The thing for me was when I played uni ball 09 to sort of 012, 13, and in my first season, first time getting introduced to fantasy, I had no clue what I was doing. I drafted Kareem Hunt in his first season at Chiefs, who basically won me the league and was unreal as a running back. So I was like, right, I'm now a Chiefs fan, but Pat Mahomes wasn't there. It was like, it wasn't the winning team it is now. So I just thought I need to pick a team. I'll start supporting them because everyone else at uni was Patriots fans. Fast forward a few years, Kareem Hunt got done, I think, for beating his partner up and got a ban. So I was like, oh. So but he's back. So, but yeah, so that's why I'm a Chiefs fan, and I think I'm glad they're winning again.
Just on that comment, great comment by the way. Lee, Steve, I'm gonna go with Lee first. How come you're an Eagles fan, Lee? And the same question to Steve. Lee, go on.
So I mean, it was way back. I think when I was probably about 10 or 11, when the NFL used to be on Channel 4.
How old are you?
I'm old. I am old. And I think it was the Eagles versus the Bears. I think it was in the playoffs. And I was watching the game. I was like, I just want to back a team. So I like the green uniforms, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna want the Eagles to win. They ended up losing that game, but I still stuck with the Eagles and stayed with the Eagles all the way through.
Okay, Steve, if you please say Taylor Swift, please.
Taylor Swift, isn't it? No, basically, it's essentially, if I ever visit America, two things I like are bourbon and barbecue. And Kansas City is meant to be a great place to get both. And
Correct.
I think the Royals had just won the MLB when I was choosing a team, so I was like, well, Kansas City's got good baseball, so let's join the football team. So I support the baseball team as well, so I was like, well, let's just become a Kansas City fan for everything.
Yeah, I'm the same with the Philly as well. Phillies.
I feel like there are a lot of people in Britball that you do that. You just pick a team because of a random reason. There's never really like my family's passed it down or I grew up in Manchester. Like you just pick a team. I mean, my NCAA team's Oregon purely because the kits are unreal.
well, my thing was I was on a pub crawl in Edinburgh when I used to live in Edinburgh, and I met this American family on one night out. And they were telling me all about football and Denver Broncos. And they were like, right, you're a Bronco. I was like, all right, okay. I ended up, after one night out, I ended up visiting them 2 years later, flew out and got took to a game and all that. And it was great. And I'm a CSU college football fan for my sins. And that's me. That's me since. I lived over there for a bit. Everything is Colorado. So, yeah, Colorado this, Colorado that. Right, back to the Denver Broncos game and Jets. Steve, have you got anything on this one, mate?
I want to second what Lee said. That's the dumbest end to a half I've ever seen.
Yes,
no one seemed to know what was going on. It's funny. Justin Fields ended up with a net minus passing yards, 45 passing yards, but 55 sacking yards. Means he lost. He went into the game with more yards than he came out of. And also with the Broncos, 9 sacks in a game is the most since 1997, I believe. So the defense was on fire.
It doesn't really count, like just because they're that bad. I mean, look, it'd have been great for me if the Broncos offense had turned up because I might have won a fantasy football game. But no, it was an awful game. We're going to move on. But let's forget about that one. Next up, 90% of the public backed the Jags, as well as all three of us, to beat the Seahawks. But the Seahawks won 20-12, did they? Or have I done a typo there? I'm pretty sure they did.
The Seahawks definitely won that game.
Yeah. Seahawks 20 scores to 12. Jags. These are two teams for me who I've been saying in the past. They're both very inconsistent. They're both very hit and miss. The Jags have been looking good, and then this happens. I'm going to go with Steve. Any comments on this? I'm waiting for some stats. Anything on this one, mate?
I don't really know, because the Jags haven't been awful this season. Obviously, they beat the Chiefs. They were looking decent. I don't really know what happened. What I can say is they need to start rushing more. I think they had 44 yards or something tiny like that. And there's no rushing or anything going on. They're trying to throw the ball, which is fair, but if it's not working, try something different.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Kieran, did you catch any of this one, mate?
No, I didn't catch it, but I did see some highlights, and I feel like Trevor Lawrence has to be one of the most hit and miss QBs in the league.
Literally, easy. And do you know what? It worries me because he's like my QB as well. He's very much a momentum QB. If the momentum's on his side, he's brilliant. But as soon as it's not, you're like, who are you? Like, turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Lee, and did you catch any of this one, mate?
Yeah, I watched this one. Watched it on Red Zone, catch up on sort of all the games at the same time. And it was a back and forth game. Yeah, I mean that message there, from Ben, Sam Darnold is a real deal. Never forget that the Panthers both had Darnold and Mayfield, but they decided to get rid of both of them. Yeah, that was a fair shout. And look at the both of them now; they're absolutely balling. But yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold seems to, he's landed on his feet. He had a great season at Minnesota, and he's gone to Seahawks, and he's carried on that momentum, and he's dragging them through. He's really performing well there. With Trevor Lawrence, I struggled to get behind the Jags, and the 1 week that I get behind the Jags and they lose. So I'm sure they're going to bounce back this week, but we'll wait and see on that one.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the next game. Much better performance by the Dolphins. However, they still got beat. Big shout out to my friend Kaylee, who we call Millwall. She listens to this podcast and she had to pick a team. She told me she likes Dolphins. Is there any team with Dolphins? So she's now a Miami Dolphin fan. Poor thing. And then we got some Ace Ventura quotes, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, so 80% of the public backed the Chargers to beat the Dolphins. They did 29-27. However, it wasn't as easy as that. I didn't catch this game, I'll be honest, but much better from the Dolphins by the look of it. Lee, anything on this one, mate?
Yeah, it wasn't the Chargers. Again, Chargers' best game. The Dolphins looked like they were coming alive. But it's a loss is a loss, and McDaniels right now is really on a hot seat. We've already had one head coach getting fired this week, and I think if the Dolphins probably carry on with this performance, I think you're going to find out he's going to get fired in the next couple of weeks as well.
That's a fair comment. Kieran,
I did watch this one because I've got Keenan Allen in my fantasy team, and it was his lowest. Obviously, the Chargers won, but it was his lowest scoring week yet. And he's one of them for me. He sits in my flex, and I'm a bit like, he started the season off pretty well, hitting sort of some decent double figures, and then the last couple of weeks, I think he's had like a 10 or 6, and I'm just like, do you keep him or not?
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I was watching some NFL stuff before, and a lot of injuries now popping up, but to good players. And look, it happens every year, but this time of the year when some players are wanting that bye week, that rest week, bit of an interesting one. Steve, any thoughts on this one, mate?
I'm going to come back to injuries in a second. I didn't really have much to say, and as you guys know, I make notes whilst I'm watching the game. I must have been really annoyed because all I wrote was, why did the Dolphins think Mr. CTE can throw a Hail Mary? Only note I've written down. But injuries. We need to go back to grass, is all I've been saying. Like, these turfs are causing way too much injuries. There's a lot of them are off the ball, or no contact. It's not working with the cleats. Something needs to change, and I don't think turf's the answer. But I also saw, apparently, they've made some regulations in the last off season where the players are no longer allowed to train with pads on, and the training hours are much more reduced. So they're just not ready when it comes to Sunday now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I've played on most of the pitches I've played on. Obviously, a grass. When I played at Halton Spartans, that was on a 3G pitch. I mean, you get yourself adjusted to that, but I don't know. For me, when I was on the 3G pitch, it hurt a hell of a lot more when I took a landing than it did a grass one. We've got a comment here. Dolphins can't stop the run, throw too many screens. McDaniels will go on the bye week, need a top to bottom overhaul. I couldn't agree anymore.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
That's that comment was from Andy, who's our new GM.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck, Andy. I'm expecting big things from you guys next season. Hopefully, I'll be live streaming a game at Lee if you'll have me. I'll come and do one. Hopefully on Sports.
Have you seen our new home as well?
Yeah, looks good, mate. Looks good.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that after we've gone week 6. Definitely want a few more Lee questions. Excited for that one. The next one, the Ravens versus the Rams. It's only me backing the Ravens here. Bad looks of it. 70% of the public back the Rams, as well as you two. 17 scores to 3. I can't confirm I'm not going to be picking the Ravens this week because I just can't cope with this anymore.
They're on bye anyway.
Pardon?
They're on bye anyway, the Ravens.
Yeah, they're on a bye.
Yeah, I mean, even next week, mate, I'm just, unless he's back, Jackson, because like...
He's back he's back the week after.
Right. I would like to retract my statements. I will be picking the Ravens in week 8. I think we're okay to move past this one. Does anyone want to say anything on this one?
I think they've got a lot to do. They're 1-5, a lot to do. Even if they win out, to have 5 losses on the board, against a Steelers team in the same division who are obviously
looking very good.
They're looking very,
very good.
I think they're going to be hoping for a wild card position because I don't think they're not going to topple the Steelers.
Yes or no? And we're going to move on to the next team. Yes or no? Starting at Steve. With Lamar, with Jackson back, are they going to make the playoffs? Steve.
They'll make the playoffs, but no team's ever gone 1-5 and won the Super Bowl.
Okay. Kieran?
I don't think they'll make the playoffs.
Okay. Lee?
Yeah, I think the state of the AFC right now, I think they will.
I'm going to agree with Lee. I think they will by the skin of the teeth. Okay. Next game, the Colts against the Cardinals. 84% of the public backed the Colts. It was a close game. Ravens lost in their bye week. So 1 second. I'll just post that comment there. So
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. Colts won 31-27 against the Cardinals. We all backed the Colts to win. However, it was a much closer game. Any thoughts on this, Steve? Colts have been pretty solid all season.
Yeah, I've started this as a potential of game of the week for me. It was a good blow for blow. Not much defense going on, unfortunately, but it was a good back and forth game. All of the Cardinals' losses have been really close games, so I wasn't that surprised by that. But what I will say is Colts weeks 1 through 4, their red zone conversion was 9 out of 19. In the last 2 weeks, they're 10 for 10.
That's crazy.
So they've become automatic.
Yeah, that's crazy. Kieran, did you catch this one? What are you thinking of the Colts?
I didn't get anything on this one.
No,
that's fine, mate. Lee?
Yeah, so I think obviously Kyler Murray's out injured. I'm struggling to see how he can sustain a career in the NFL if he stays with the Cardinals. If he wants to perform and try again with another team, but I can't see Kyler Murray sustaining himself as a quarterback in this league if he stays there. Obviously, the replacement of QB that come in is giving them a burst of energy and revitalised them a little bit. It's Brissett, Jacoby Brissett, I think that was quarterback in that game. And he threw some really great passes, and I think it was a close game, and it just came down to the wire, and the Colts nipped it. So I think if Kyler was in, I think that would have been a thrashing.
I don't know, because I'm starting to question Kyler Murray. I think he's only regarded as a good quarterback because he had DeAndre Hopkins for a lot of his career. I don't really think he's been that good in the last season or so.
No, I don't think he has. I think he's got some, he's got some speed, and when he rolls out the pocket, he does make opportunities downfield. But I think that he's relying on, when D-Hop was there, throwing bombs to him, and he's reliant on other players to make him look good, I think. And I don't think he's all that, to be fair, but that's just my opinion.
I get that said about me all the time, mate. Don't worry, it's Sam. Right. The next one for me was up there with Game of the Week because it was just so unexpected. The Panthers won 30-27 against the Cowboys. Them boys aren't being them boys at the moment. Have you got any Cowboy fans at Lee you like taking a mick out of?
I think there are a few actually, yeah.
I'm coming on to you in a few minutes. If you want to name and shame them, by all means. 90% of the public and all 3 of us back the Cowboys, but the Panthers again with a shock result. Can they build some momentum on it? I don't know. I'm going to go with Steve. Did you catch this game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I caught the game. I got some good stats for it as well. The Cowboys, again, they didn't look awful, but his Panthers team, this is the second time now that they've just come out of nowhere. Pickens had a good game from the Cowboys, but it was Dowdle for me. 239 total yards. Revenge game. He's also the only player this season with multiple 200-plus yards from scrimmage. So he's again, that him himself is unexpected. But my favourite stat that I actually worked out from this game, first time ever, the Cowboys haven't had a repeat result week on week. So they've got loss, win, loss, tie, win, loss. And that's never happened in the first 6 weeks. It's just an interesting fact I worked out.
Interesting fact, the fan base is still crying. Kieran, name and shame, mate. You're up, mate. Go for it.
You know what? It's one of the things now I'm drawing a blank, but I've just put a message in our group chat being like, who's a Cowboys fan? But I will say, like, George Pickens, he's saving me a bit this week for my fantasy game. I think it was just him left to play maybe. And then I was like a 75% chance of loss. And then he comes up and gets me. I'm just looking at it now, it's 31.8 points. So he's having a great season for me.
Brill. Lee?
Yeah, I think I mean, although we lost sort of the pick, whenever the Cowboys lose, that's a win for me. I do hate the Cowboys. I do really do hate the Cowboys. No, I like to watch them lose. So, yeah,
They're just one of them teams where when they lose, it's like, you know what? That's cheered me up. That's great. My team were awful, but they're not as bad as them. Okay. Right. Well, look. Let's the next result. Saints versus the Patriots. The Patriots are top for the first time in a long time. They've got a great history. The Patriots. Is this a comeback? What's going on? They won 25-19 against the Saints. For anyone who knows my comments on the Saints, they've got the worst kit ever. I don't know why it's saying that I picked the Saints. Maybe because I just really dislike most of the Patriot fans I know. You two backed the Patriots. Look, Pats would have snatched anyone's hands off to be in the position they're in at this point in the season. Be interesting to see how they get on for the rest of the season. Kieran, any thoughts on this one, mate? With the Patriots, are you a lover of the Patriots?
Not really.
No?
I think
pull the face there, mate.
Yeah, it's one of them where I think when I got into the game 10, 12 years ago, it was like everyone's Patriots fans, so it just pissed me off. Sorry. And it's like one of them where my bad. It's kind of like, when you're younger and everyone used to be United fan because he's like whoever, and I see it like that. So I'm a bit biased in that. I see the Patriots, I just turn it off. But that said, I think this game was interesting in that it's two big passing teams, isn't it? I did notice something. I think I saw where it was something like 73 or 79 rushing yards. They both had the exact same amount of rushing yards in that game compared to the hundreds in the passing. So it's good to see him slinging the ball because there's a lot of teams just running it now.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, especially on the comment on, because when I first started getting into this, everyone was Patriot fans, and I look, if Taylor Swift makes you support an NFL team, great. If a team winning makes you support that team, great. The more people watching this sport in this country, the better for me. Steve, anything on this one, mate?
Nothing loads. It was a better game than it sort of should have been, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a competition of a game, I think it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, it was a lot closer than I think we all expected.
Yeah, definitely. There were points where I thought the Saints were going to do it, but yeah, the Pats pulled it off. Again, it's the Saints, and like sometimes you just want to close your eyes when they're on the screen. So.
Do you know what? Funny you said that. Someone messaged me the exact same when this thing goes live every week. Lee, any thoughts on this one, mate? I know you're a closet Patriot. No, you're not really, mate. Any thoughts?
No. I do like Drake May though. I do like his style. He's a really nice guy. Listening to him, some of his interviews. When he came to London, he was in and amongst the population of the crowds and visiting Covent Garden and doing various stuff, and people were saying he's a really nice guy, really down to earth. So to see him To see him do really well with the Patriots, I think it's good. I don't think I don't think they're going to be a threat to where they were a couple of years ago with Tom Brady, but it's good to see them trying to be competitive. And I think in the league that they're in at the moment, with the Jets absolutely bombing it and Dolphins can't find their way, to give the Bills some honest competition, I think is always good. I don't like it when a team runs away with a division. I like it when it comes down to the final few games. And
I agree.
The Pats have beaten the Bills once. Let's see if they can do it again later on in the season. But yeah, I mean, give them their dues.
Right. Next up, the Steelers beat the Browns 23-9. 73% of the public backed the Steelers, as did all three of us. I'm safe to say I'm impressed by the Steelers. We're going to go more into them later on, but great game. After that, it was the Raiders against the Titans, two terrible teams at the moment. It gives me great pride to say that because I dislike both of them. But the Raiders actually won this week, 20 points to 10. 80% of the public backed the Titans, as well as myself. You two backed the Raiders, so you two obviously knew something that I didn't. And then we go on to the Buccaneers against the 49ers. Buccaneers just look like the hot team at the moment, a team that could go all the way. We all backed the Bucs against a very good, 49ers team. 60% of the public backed it as well, 30 points to 19. Gentlemen, the Bucs look absolutely fantastic. Lee, what are your thoughts on this one, mate?
Oh, do you know what? This obviously I do my power rankings. Check them out on Sportank. You can find them there, and they're still number 4 in my power rankings. But
how did they not drop though?
Do you know what? This is it. I can't. I want to see a few more games. I'm looking.
Let me retract that. Obviously, Denver Broncos should be top, but why are these not second?
The way I structure my power rankings is, how do I think the league is going to finish? How do I think, the draft pick order is going to look next year? And who's going to be the last on the board? Who's going to be first on the board? I think the Bucs are competitive. That's why they're 4th. They're going to be there, but I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender. I do see them as in they're going to get to the playoffs and they're going to get to the divisional rounds and they're going to do really well. But I can't see them get into the Super Bowl again. However, they are a great team, and Baker's doing phenomenal work. He had 3 of his wide receivers out, his main running back out, and he's still making plays. He is a gunslinger. He's completing so many passes. It is unreal. And I think Mac Jones, he has flashes again, but we'll wait to see what Brock Purdy looks like when he comes back and if he can revitalize the team. And obviously the Niners losing Fred Warner as well was absolutely devastating for that team. And I think they've just been plagued with injuries like so many other teams, but they're keeping in it. I don't know.
Kieran,
I think we've got to say a lot about the Bucs defense as well.
Yes,
like keeping the yards down. The man coverage is great, but they're just not allowing anything through, and they're just kind of. I mean, I think they 1 sack to 6. In terms of this, and it's the amount of pressure that the Bucs D is putting on to keep the offense on the field is actually allowing them Baker Mayfield to go and do what he does.
Brilliant. Steve?
Yeah, I think the Bucs are looking really good. I sort of back what Lee says. But, I mean, as it stands, if he carries on, I think Baker Mayfield has a shout for MVP.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
It does make me laugh, just on MVP, that because we won last week, Chief, and Patrick Mahomes is now ranked 2nd for MVP. That's dumb. But
is Bo Nix first?
No, Baker Mayfield is.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Bo Nix is in the conversation at the moment.
Hey, listen, there's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time.
What for a man who steps out of the end zone accidentally and gives a safety?
Listen, I will find you. I will get you. I will find you, mate. Listen, Kieran can vouch. I'm the quickest lineman ever, mate. I will catch you, mate. Right. After that, we had the Packers against the Bengals, 27-18. Obviously, Bengals with a new QB, still not there. I think for them, it very much is a rebuild season. We got a comment from Coach Russ. CMC being used more as a receiver, obviously not 100% fit to play in the backfield all the time. You won't find me disagreeing with you there, mate. Yeah, we all backed the Packers as well as 95% of the public. The other 5% of the public were either Bengals fans or taking too many hardcore drugs. And then after that, we got the Chiefs. The Chiefs with a brilliant win, by the way. 30 points to 17. Myself and Lee picked the Lions. 80% of the public picked the Lions. And the Chiefs turned up, and they're looking really good for this week. We'll go into that later on. Lee, I want to know your thoughts on this one, mate, because this could be a team potentially could be playing in the final.
Yeah, this was a shocker, and I think, with Rashee Rice coming back this week,
brilliant, by the way, for them.
Yeah, I think this is the momentum that they're going to need,
and
they jumped back up in my power rankings as well. They're looking like the old Chiefs, and yeah, they're 3-3, but that's not a deficit. They can bring this back and still do well, whether they're going to top their division or whether they're going to qualify, through the
they ain't going to top their division. Broncos will top that division. We'll go into that. We'll go into that later on. Okay, Kieran, what are your thoughts on this one, mate? You're a big Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I think I think someone said it a minute ago about maybe coming back to Chief ways a little bit. I think one thing that Chiefs do well when they're on the form is precision. Like they just everything's down to a T, and the position and the amount of first downs that they land. They're not hitting many fourth downs. And it's sort of felt back to that old sort of game plan, really, where it wasn't panicking. They weren't just chucking the ball for the sake of it. It was quite well orchestrated moving down the field for them.
Perfect. Steve, I know you're waiting, mate. I know you're waiting with your notepad, your file of facts, absolutely everything. You're up.
I've got plenty up.
No. Oh my God!
This is why I'm careful what I say, because I feel like there's a fact checker.
Mate, you say what you want, just don't swear. Say anything that you want, just don't swear. And nothing derogatory against the Denver Broncos, and you'll be fine, mate. Don't you worry. Stay you're up. Go.
I want to give credit to this game to the O-line. First of all, Josh Simmons backed out of the game a couple of hours before the game. We had Jake Moore in, who's not really played that much with us, and he played on the side, which Hutchinson plays, and contained him. Had a great game. Chiefs 0 penalties. We had 13 against the Jags last week, so that makes a big difference.
Precision.
But yeah, we had a little flea flicker. We had a bit of a trick play going on. Like we are looking more like Chiefs ball. Butker needs to sort himself out. You can't miss a kick every week, 6 weeks in a row. And obviously, someone's going to mention a controversial, but Jared Goff needs to know you can't stand under center and then go into motion without stopping at no point.
Kieran, what were you about to say then, mate?
I would just say, was it Hollywood Brown as well that sort of stepped up this week and got 2 touchdowns as well?
2 tutties for Hollywood Brown. And then, we get Rashee back this week. We're looking good.
Awesome.
And Pacheco even played well. We haven't had Pacheco looking that good for half the season so far.
I think your next few games are going to be interesting because you've got some hard games. If you can come out these next few games with wins, I don't see a reason why you won't be in the playoffs. I mean, we've said this a few weeks ago. We think that league is going to have a top seed and 2 other teams go in the playoffs. If any league's going to do it, it's going to be that one. Okay, the next 2 results: Falcons against the Bills. The Falcons, a bit of a shock of the week, beat the Bills 24-14. All 3 of us picked the Bills. The next one, it was the closest voted game of the week, and it was the closest game of the week. The Commanders, 55% of the public backed the Commanders. The other 45 backed the Bears. We all backed the Bears. The Bears won 25-24. Very, very good game. A great way to finish off week 6. So yeah, for me, week 6 good. It's getting tasty now in terms of there's still teams in it. There's still team. We spoke before about the Ravens, even though they've been so bad, they've got that bye week. Jackson's back. What are we going to see? I'm excited to see. Obviously what's going to go on. Oh, we've got a comment here. 1 minute, 2 seconds. I told you last week 80% of the public were wrong. Bijan Robinson has more yards than every other player in the league, less with 1 game played than everyone else. Ben, is Ben with you?
Yeah, he's with
Yeah,
me.
Ben, drop me a message, mate. I'd love to get you on this one because you're very opinionated and you remind me of someone amazing myself. Right.
So I got to say Bo Nix then.
Kieran, I want to know. Obviously, it's meant to be an hour-long show. We're 45 minutes into it, but hey, let's go with it. Kieran, I want to know, how did you get into football? You mentioned before uni ball. What was it that got you into it? Did you do rugby? You know, what position do you play? I know, but not everyone else knows.
You know, because I was on top of it, wasn't it? That's why. But...
Behave, mate. Last person to get on top of me, I'm not even going there.
Yeah, it was a random one. I think I went to Leeds. He's now known as Leeds Beckett, I think. We met when I went there in 2009. But my plan was I always played rugby to like a decent standard in terms of like sort of county level and stuff like that. But when I got to uni, my degree's music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't really know if I wanted to. Leeds is a very, very good sporting university. And like Leeds Met, Loughborough, they were like the top teams at the time. And Leeds Met's very much a feeder for Leeds Rhinos. So I was kind of like, do I want to take it that seriously? Or do I just want a bit of a laugh? And at first I was kind of like, I'm not too sure. And then me and my housemate, a guy called Doug, was absolutely rapid. We walked past a sign saying there was some like trials on the field for this. It's called the Acre for the American football team. There was no team. They'd just gone through association, but it was the first year of the team. So me and him I think we'd had about 4 strongbows at this point. And thought it'd just be a laugh to go down. Genuinely, I just thought typical rugby player when they look at American football and be like, oh, helmets and pads. And yeah, I went down, had an absolutely amazing time, never left, and sort of played there through uni. A couple of training days with Great Britain youth, but I never actually played for Great Britain, just did some training up in Gateshead. And yeah, I played linebacker was my core position, but as a lot of uni ball teams do, I did both ways. So it's you got to put the work in. So I was a linebacker mainly, but secondary QB / what we would call an A back at the time. So we played when I was there, we had triple option football. So we had a coach come and install it from the Navy team in America because that's the playbook that they ran at the time. Wow. So it was quite good, but I mean we were awful. It was the first year. In that 3 years, we got battered. Birmingham Lions were the top dogs at the time with a quarterback called Tristan Varney, I think his name was. He was like the GB QB. He just annihilated us. But then he went on to I think win the national title a few years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite moment with Lee or funniest? Go.
Oh.
Funniest too. I've got a funny one I'm going to bring up after this with you and Lee, but I'll let you go first.
Funniest favorite. I think favorite, to be fair, as corny as it sounds, is probably that Panthers game away when we got battered.
Okay.
And the reason for that being is, as I don't know, a few people probably know, the game didn't make it all the way through due to injury, and we had a player at halftime that actually had a bee sting whilst having a drink and had an anaphylactic shock, and the ambulance had to come. It was like, it got pretty bad. But obviously we lost that game 57-0. But when you look at who turned up for the game, last game of the season, we've not won a game all season. It's the very last game. You know, a lot of people are like, what's the point? There's nothing in it for us. And we're playing a team that's battered everyone that stepped in front of them that shouldn't be in our division. But the group of us that stayed on that field and played every snap and kept getting run over and getting back up, it almost felt like that's the start of where we are now, as in these people that are sticking around and there's something still there we're sticking for. So that's kind of probably one of my favourite moments.
So I'm going to bring up my funny moment. Whenever we play Lee, it's always a physical game. I have a lot of love for Lee Manors. It's not a team I've played for. And I'm glad to see them moving on from the culture. I think Kieran might agree or disagree, mainly agree that there's a bit of a pub culture that you're looking to move away from. So you can kind of go up that division. But was a game last season we played, and you threw a right dig to our running back in the lid, and he took it. You give him a dig, and I'm like, oh no way, he's going to get sent off because you didn't have too many players, as you mentioned before, and the referee was like, oh yeah, penalty, that's it. I was like, what have you got to do to get sent off in this game? Like, it literally was like, blah.
You missed out. You missed out a bit of the story there, though.
I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't on the pitch at that point.
I actually picked off the QB, ran about 35 yards with the ball, and then just emotions being high. I think as I got up, the running back that tried to chase me down gave me a slap round the head, and he just a bit of a
okay,
yeah, a bit of a reaction.
All I seen was.
Yeah, it was an overreaction from me, 100%. We got a penalty, and then the yards that I made on the pit got taken straight back anyway. So it was a very good moment of me.
No, listen. For anyone who is looking at joining Lee Miners going down, try and look at the social media. I'm sure Kieran would welcome a message. Looking forward to seeing what you guys got next season. Hopefully, they'll be able to get down to a game and record a live stream a game. But I truly am wishing you all best luck. For anyone else watching this, we would love to get you on the show this week. I'm sure Steve and Lee will want some guests on as well. Each week, we'd like to invite a guest on, tell us what's going on, whether it's Uniball or Brickball. Please, obviously, drop us a message. We'd love to get you on. Right, week 7. I'm looking at the time. I know we're not mentioning the time, but I'm looking at it. We'll do as best as we can. Bengals versus Steelers. This is the only game of the week where 100% of the public have backed one team, and it's the Steelers. It's looking like a great game tonight. Pardon?
So it's not even a surprise. The Bengals aren't. I don't think the Bengals can win this season now.
No, I've backed the Steelers on this one. That's all I've got to say. I'm going to go to Steve. Are you picking Bengals or Steelers?
Yeah, I've gone Steelers.
Cool. Kieran, Bengals or Steelers?
Steelers.
Steelers. And Lee?
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is looking unstoppable at the moment with his core receivers. I think he's going to bring this home.
Okay. Next game, the Jags versus the Rams. Now, 60% of the public have backed the Jags here. I'm actually going for the Rams. Kieran, are you picking the Jags or the Rams?
I think Rams.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it depends what version of the Jags turn up. Lee, Rams or Jags, mate?
I've gone Rams, mate. I've gone Rams. I don't think the Jags have got it this time.
Okay. Fair comment. Steve?
Yeah, Rams. I think the Rams are just looking the better team.
Okay. Next one, I think this is going to be a really, really good game. You've got the Vikings against the Eagles. 78% of the public have backed the Eagles. Shockingly, I'm picking the Vikings here, mate.
I thought you'd do that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm worried about this game.
Your offense really needs to turn up this week.
This is it. And I think our offensive coordinator needs to pull his finger out and start getting our key players involved. Our defense, we were a bit weak on the last game. That's no excuse. We were down a couple of key players. They're back. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can pull a win out. So I'm going to back the Eagles.
Okay, Kieran?
Eagles all day.
Okay, sound like a closet Eagles fan there. That's fine. Steve?
I've gone Eagles, but I think the Vikings are going to put. They've had a good defense. They're going to make them struggle, but I think the Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball this week because they're just not throwing the ball. They're going to have to start doing that, and then I think they'll pull off a win here. Yeah.
Okay, next game we've got the Titans against the Patriots. Titans, I'm right in saying, just got rid of the head coach.
Yep.
I'm not expecting anything from the Titans this week. So myself and 90% of the public have backed the Patriots. I'm going to start at the top here. Steve, what are you thinking, mate?
I've chosen the Pats as well. And I still hate to choose the Pats. I don't ever want to see it win. But
Same. Okay, Kieran?
It's got to be the Pats, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. Lee?
I'm backing Drake May, not the England Patriots. I'm doing Drake May, so go for the Pats.
Okay. Up next, potentially the worst game of the week. We've got them goddamn Jets against the Panthers. Panthers fresh off a win. 63% of the public have backed the Panthers. They can understand why. However, I feel like the Jets are going to do it this week. So I'm I'm backing the Jets. Lee, who are you backing?
Yeah, I'm feeling you as well. I think this is probably the only game the Jets are going to win this season.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think after that abysmal performance in London, I think they're going to be taking it to the house and bringing home a win.
I don't, look, their offense was awful, but I think the defense had a good game.
Defense, really good game. They stepped up.
But I think it's very. A lot of people watch a game and go, "That was an awful game," instead of going, "Well, the defense were absolutely brilliant." In terms of an offenses, it was an awful game, but defense-wise, both teams balled out.
Absolutely.
Kieran, Jets or Panthers?
I think Jets as well. I think they're going to be. They're a wounded dog right now.
Yes.
And I think, like you said, they're going to step up. They're going to bring it. They know probably with looking at the schedule that's left, this is probably their only chance of getting some decent points on the board.
Yeah. Okay. Steve?
Well, we could go for a full house, but I've gone for Panthers.
There's always one.
There's always one.
Realise that what they've got in Dowd, and as long as he doesn't get injured, I think he can beat the Jets.
Okay. Well, there we go. Like I said, there's always one. So let's move on to the next game. Browns against the Dolphins, my friend Millwall's new team. 75% of the public have backed the Browns. Again, I don't think this is going to be a great game. However, I still think the Browns are going to do it. I'm going to go with you, Lee, again. I'm going to just test the waters on this. Lee, are you thinking me?
Do you know, I'm backing the Browns. I think Miami, they're in turmoil right now with their locker room. Their players are turning on each other. Coaches are turning on each other. The players are turning on the coaches. It's not looking good. I think the Browns have got this.
Okay. Kieran?
I'm going Dolphins, you know.
Oh, there's always one.
One.
Okay. You're going Dolphins. Steve?
I think we're going to have to start saying there's always two because I've gone Dolphins as well.
Oh, mate. Whatever you two been drinking, let me know. I want some of it. Okay. Next game. We've got the Bears against the Saints. I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel like the Saints are going to pull it out the bag. So I picked the Saints this week.
What have you been drinking?
Listen, mate, I feel like they're not going to wear that horrible colour. They're going to wear black this week, maybe. I don't know. But the Bears, 70% of the public have backed the Bears. I'm going to back the Saints. Lee?
I think it's going to be a close game, but I do think the Bears.
Okay, I need to update my sheet here because I've got you down as picking someone else. Steve?
Yeah, I'm going Bears. It's one of those games. It's also going to be an awful game. But you are right, though. They have won that one game when they wore a different uni, so it depends what kit they turn up in.
And it's a horrible kit, that
It is.
I hate it. Kieran?
Bears.
Bears, okay. There's always one. I'm the one. Okay. Next game, the Chiefs against the Raiders. 96% of the public have backed the Chiefs. The other 4% are clearly Raiders fans because they're absolutely awful, even though they won last week. I'm backing the Chiefs, and it hurts me. It hurts me more than when Steven Gerrard slipped. I just can't see any. I just can't see anything. But I mean, I'd love to be wrong. At the same time, I wouldn't. I dislike both teams. Lee, you're up first here, mate. Who are you backing?
Yeah, Chiefs on this one. You know, they're getting back on form, and I think they're gonna come up trumps.
Okay, Kieran.
I think in the same way that Gerrard was never, ever, ever going to win the Premier League, Raiders will never, ever win this game. It's cheap.
Do you know what? I can't get into it, but who do you support, mate?
The blue side of Manchester.
How long have you done that for?
Since I was...
Steve, you're up next, mate. Your comments.
The main road at 3 years old.
Go on, Steve.
It's Chiefs, isn't it? There's no way I'm picking the Raiders, and the Chiefs are just on fire.
I honestly think that the game might be stopped at half time and the police might be called in because there might be that much of a mauling. If that Chiefs turn up, which I think is going to turn up against the Raiders, which I think is going to turn up, I think it's going to be an absolute mauling. Okay, we've got this is voted the closest game. Oh no, second closest game of the week. We've got the Chargers against the Colts. Both teams looking very, very good. 54% of the public have backed the Chargers. I'm also picking the Chargers on this one. We're going to try this a different way. Let's go with Steve. What are your thoughts on this one, mate?
This is. I've got this as possibly game of the week.
No, that's the next one.
It was a tough call. I didn't have a coin with me. I literally asked my girlfriend to choose one or the other because I couldn't decide. I've gone with the Colts.
Is that a way of you saying, lady, I'm off the market. I have a girlfriend, and she is also.
That was more of me saying, if I'm wrong, it's not my fault.
Oh, you blame it on the other half, mate. You've got a lot to learn about relationships. Okay, Kieran.
I honestly have no clue on this one.
Flip a coin, mate. Just don't blame it on your girlfriend. Chargers or Colts? Chargers. Okay, Lee.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers on this one. They're at home. They've got a good crowd behind them. I think they're gonna fight back in this one.
Okay. Next one, potentially game of the week. It has to get better after that rubbish last week. We've got the Denver Broncos against the Giants. Coach Russ has been waiting for this all week. 50-50 split. 50% of the public have backed the Broncos. The other 50% have been drinking what Kieran and Steve have. I'm backing the Broncos. I think our defense is going to win this game. It's going to be very, very interesting because, on the run plays, Giants look fantastic. For me, it looks like it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a very, very good game. So I'm very interested to this one. Oh God, I've got loads of commentary. I do apologise, folks. City and Chiefs fan, terrible level of bandwagon. Ben, I agree with you on that one. 37% of the public must have clicked on the wrong button. Ben, I unfortunately have to disagree with you on that one. And Coach Rush, Jets coaches were awful. Yeah, we all know that one. That one is very prominent. There you go. I should battle in the trenches will decide this one, and I agree on that one. So we're gonna go from top to bottom. Steve, who are you backing here, mate? Come on, mate. Lay off the juice.
Unfortunately, I've gone Broncos. Only unfortunately because it's a division rival. I think the defense is gonna show the Giants something. Okay. They're not going to have a great game there, I don't think. But again, I think it's going to be a good game to watch.
Okay. Kieran?
I'm going Giants.
I'll get lost.
Honestly, right. I think Scatterbox is just going to absolutely bulldoze them.
Mate, he's going from no altitude to 10,000 feet above. Not 10,000. It's Mile High Stadium, and look, Broncos have that big home field advantage.
If they can get him into the red zone, then he's scoring.
Oh, I agree on that part, mate. He's one of them running backs that you pretty much think he's going to give you 5 yards every run and play. So yeah, no, I agree on that part. I think it's going to be a great scoring game, this one. Lee, I'm assuming you're picking the Broncos if you're a tire.
Do you know what? I would love for this game to be a bloody draw.
Said no one in Britball ever. Oz would go through the roof right now.
No, do you know what? I'm backing the Giants just because you never back the Eagles.
Do you know what? I hope someone's took a screenshot of you in that game, mate. In fact, I'm going to do that after this, and I'm just going to put posters up everywhere. Honest to God, mate.
Cheers, mate. I'll tell you what. If the Giants win, shall I send this jersey up to you?
Not a chance. Not a chance, mate. More chance of me kitting up next year. Not happening. Right. Next game, we've got the Cardinals against the Packers. The 8-0 Packers. Steve, that was your count at the beginning of the season. However, I still think the Packers are a really good team. I'm back. 70% of the public have backed the Packers. I'm going to back the Packers. Lee?
Yeah, I've gone Packers in this one.
Cool. Kieran?
Same, Packers. I think they're on a roll now.
Steve?
I think, as I said, Cardinals like to keep close games, so it's going to be close, but we're going to go with a 6-1 Packers.
Sam. Oh my God, this show, mate. It just gets me. Next up, we've got them boys, the Cowboys against the Commanders. 65% of the public have backed the Commanders here, which I think is a bit of a mad one because I think Commanders started really well and they've just kind of not nosedive, but they've not been as good. However, I think the Cowboys are going to get the business done. I would love to be wrong on this one. As you're all aware, I'm very rarely wrong, but I could be on this one. Lee, who are you backing here, mate?
Again, this is another game I'd love to be a draw because I hate both teams. But
stop it with the draw comments.
You know what?
That's as bad as cursing on a PG show.
It is. But I don't like the Cowboys. There's nothing more that I hate than the Cowboys. So I'm going to go the Commanders.
Okay, Kieran.
I'm going Cowboys.
Good lad. And go on, mate.
I was going to say, I think a bit like with the team before, we were saying will be hurting. I think these guys, after having that close loss to Panthers, I think they're going to be raring for it.
Oh, 100%. Oh, hang on. We've got a comment here. Niall Collins, Packers all day long. He's back on the 6-1-1 Packers. Okay.
Can I shout out Niall?
Go for it, mate.
Because Niall does an absolutely amazing job with the Lee Miners Academy. A lot of people don't know we have one.
Okay.
Which Niall's been running very well on his own, and they're going to be sort of working, training from the same place we are. So anyone that's got young kids that want to get involved, Niall's your man.
Is he? Is this the under-19s?
No, so it's more of an academy. Like at the minute, it's just a mix of ages. I think there's like 10 to sort of 14.
Okay.
The under-19s thing, I think, will probably be our new head coach Andy won the national title last year with Titans. I think under 16s or 19s, and he's now come across to us.
Right. I mean, I'm setting one up for the Cambridgeshire Cats, so I know the struggles of setting up academies and stuff like that. So anybody getting into that, hats off to you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Awesome. Have I asked Steve? I haven't asked you. Apologies, Steve. What are your thoughts on this one? Cowboys and Commanders.
I've gone Cowboys, but if the Commanders can work out how to not fumble every play, they might win. Because that's why they lost last week. 3 fumbles. They had a good game.
Okay. 49ers versus the Falcons. 72% of the public have backed the 49ers. I'm backing the 49ers after that loss last week. I feel like, again, as we mentioned before, they'll be hurt. Lee, there's a comment here, mate. Lee, there's no fence strong enough for you to sit on. That was also me pre the Manjaro jabs. Okay, Steve, are you backing the 49ers or the Falcons?
I backed the Falcons. I liked Bijan Robson and Drake London last week, and I don't like the Niners, and I don't like how they keep finding ways to win with their third quarterback now. So,
okay, Kieran.
49ers, I think. It pains me. I don't like them, but I think they'll take it.
We've got a comment here, under 11s and under 14s flag at the moment. That's for Lee Miners, for anyone who wants their kids to join them, or just get rid of your kids on a Sunday for a bit. Lee?
Do you know what this is at the bell bottom in San Fran, so I'm going to stick with the home team on this one, although the Falcons are probably going to give them a run for their money. I do think the Niners have got this one.
Okay. Next game, we got Lions against the Buccaneers. Bit of a mad one. 77% of the public have backed the Lions. I'm going to be backing the Buccaneers. I just think I just think the better. But we'll see. I'm going to go with Lee. Who's your thoughts on this one, mate?
Do you know what this is? Number 3 versus number 4 in my power rankings. So this is
behind Denver Broncos and
the Denver Broncos fell out of the top 10 after their performance in London.
Go on, carry on, mate.
But yeah, this is going to be a close game. But again, home team advantage. They're going to be in Detroit. It's going to get noisy, and I think the Lions are going to win this.
Okay, Kieran, Lions or Buccaneers?
I'm going to say Buccaneers.
Okay, good shout, mate. Good shout. Steve?
I think this is going to be, if they both turn up, this is going to be game of the week. I'm excited to watch this game. Again, it's a close one, but I went with Bucks on this one. No particular reason. I just like Drake. I just like how Mayfield's playing at the moment.
Okay. Last but by no means least, the Seahawks against the Texans. 63% of the public have backed the Seahawks. I just think the Texans haven't been all with it this season. I'm backing the Seahawks. I'm going to go with Steve.
Yeah, I'm backing the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are looking a better team, but this is one of those games I don't really care about this week, so I might not even bother watching it.
Okay, Lee.
Yeah, I think the Texans are lacking consistency, so I'm gonna go Seahawks in this one.
Okay, and Lee. Sorry, and Kieran. I do apologise, Kieran.
I'm just gonna, because I love jumping on bandwagons, I'm gonna say Seahawks.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's week 7, folks. Kieran, you've been really good to have on, mate. I'm sure we'd love to get you back on at some point.
Well,
I really do sincerely wish you and Lee Miners all the best. I don't want to, for you guys to get through that season. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Again, folks, if you are interested in the youth or the adult team, drop Lee Miners, Kieran a message. When's training? Where is it? When's it going to start?
So at the moment, our Instagram's got the next sort of taster session on it. We're in the middle of a bit of a break. We're not got the weekly training, but I think we'll be starting like later in the year. But yeah, if anyone wants to just drop us a DM on Instagram, and then go from there. But I think gladly we'll come on at the end of the season. And if you want to make a bet, we are finishing higher than Bucks this year.
What, Lancashire Buccaneers?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, mate, do you know what? I'll be up for seeing it. I mean, I'm not playing this year. I'm done. So, I loved Lancashire Buccaneers. I think there's a quality group of guys there. I think next season they'll recruit well. I think I think a lot of it is all going to depend on recruitment. I don't know how they're going to structure the league in terms of, because Leicester have gone up. Lincoln, was Lincoln the closest team? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. And then you got Rossendale Bucks. I think it's going to be a really good league. I'll be doing it as a neutral. I do fundraising for Lancashire Buccaneers. Whether I'm doing that next season, that's another question. But I'm as a neutral, it'll be very good to watch. So I encourage anyone who watches this who doesn't currently play, get in contact with a local team. And if you're local enough to Lee, go down and give that a go. Right, folks, that's week 7. That's the Audible. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check your fantasy football league teams. We're going to go from down to up. I've been Matteo.
I've been Lee.
I've been Kieran Edwards.
I've been Steve.
We did it. Brilliant. Thank you all very much. I'm looking forward to next week. I think we've got a guest from the Manchester Titans. I'm waiting to confirm that, or someone else. I'm sure we'll sort that out. Thank you very much, folks. Have a great day. Again, you can catch us on Amazon. You can catch us on Apple. You can catch us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. The absolute lot of it. We will see you next week. Take care.